Hello everyone, this is Corin Landwalker, and today we have yet another exciting episode of Star City. More specifically, we are continuing the Aurora MR Challenge. For those who have come in late, which is to say, anybody who stumbles upon this stream, I've been engaging in a minor experiment. Your average new player goes to the Star Citizen website, they see all these ships out there that you can buy, and they start going to numbers like $100, $200, $300, $600, $1,000, and you look at that and you think, why would I do something stupid like that? I'm not going to do a thing with this game. And what they don't realize is that most of those ships can be earned in-game. And I've chosen to take it upon myself to do this Aurora MR challenge, where I'm going to attempt to earn enough money that I would have had if I'd started with an Aurora MR package to earn, and I just picked this out of a hat almost, a Drake Cutlass Black. That's a medium-sized ship. It's got, well, you're going to see what it's got actually, because today, as you will have noticed in the upper right-hand corner, I have made a total profit of 49,472 UEC. I had to basically reverse engineer that because if you were with me at the end of last week, you may have noticed that I had a little bit of a technical glitch that first took off my head, then took off my Moby glass, which made the character very literally unplayable. I had to do a character reset. It's an alpha. You get used to this sort of thing. I had not made a whole heap of cash, however, and you can easily compare the number here with the number that I had in the previous stream before things went to pot. As always, I have updated my starting funds. I will demonstrate by opening up my Moby glass. The number you see in my current balance matches the starting funds listed on the upper left-hand corner. The profit made so far will basically be updated with the difference between what I end up with in my current balance at the end of the stream and the starting funds in the upper left. Our goal is to get to, well over a couple million in profit so that I can afford to purchase the Drake Cutlass Black. Now, you will have undoubtedly noticed that I could probably do so right now, but I hadn't earned all that money with the Aurora. I've been earning it with my personal allotment of ships for the most part, except for what you see in the upper right hand corner. So, first I'm going to try to get out of here. No wonder I seem to be stuck in the wall. I was sitting down in the chair, then I guess someone bumped me and sat in the chair that I was sitting in, and now I'm stuck on the wall. Well, you know what that means. I seem to have encountered a minor technical issue. And when you encounter a minor technical issue like this, there's really only one thing to do. Exit the menu, return to game. So we're going to do a quick reload. And I'll admit, I'm kind of glad to have the opportunity to show off my new crash image. Taken from the IAE 2950 well, technically Expo 2. Where I had there was a bit of a glitch with the hangars and a couple Origin 600 eyes kind of got together in kind of a mating ritual. I'm not entirely sure, but it did not end well for anybody involved. So we're going to go back into the game here, and hopefully I will no longer be stuck in a wall. Hopefully the loading time will not be too long. what I really should do is have some sort of little video animation that goes on to entertain people while the loading screen is going on. Maybe one day. How I'd make that work, I'm not entirely sure, but I would find a way. Alright, I am in the jurisdiction. And another bug that seems to have happened a lot lately is that when I spawn in, my helmet is off. Which makes for a very embarrassing moment if I were to, say, go outside and suddenly realize, oops, my helmet's not on. Gasp, gasp, choke, die. Now, our current location is the HER L1 R&R station. The HER L1 station, like the other L1s and also HER L2, have recently gained refinery decks. And the refinery decks are the places where we'll be able to rent up the vehicles that we're going to be making use of today. I flew here in my Aurora. Even though I wasn't on stream at the time, I figured, let's be complete. And what we have here is enough money with the 49,000 to rent both the Grey Cat ROC, and actually the Grey Cat ROC is kind of at the core, or at least it was at the core, of the strategy to earn money. That's because if you have a really good run in Aurora, you can get yourself, it's not the Aurora, the ROC, you can get yourself around 200,000 credits on a full load on the ROC, if all goes well. Being my stream, I think I can assure you things will not go as you expect. Doesn't matter. The big goal here is to earn enough money to at least pay for the rental price of everything. I'll net zero on that case, but at least I'll have proven that money can be made with it. The ideal situation is to earn enough that I would be able to purchase the ROC outright. That would be 180,000-ish or something like that. I don't recall the exact numbers. But we'll see where things stand when we check our profit. This is the refinery deck. We stopped here last week briefly, did a little brief tour. Unfortunately, I didn't have Pico to the Penguin to throw into the vat of molten metal. I just want to see what will happen. He'll either just sit there, or he'll disintegrate, or something. I'd kind of like to see him burst into flame, but that probably isn't going to happen. Alright, back where we started, where I was trying to avoid having to go through all this. The best laid plans. The Grey Cat ROC can be rented for a single day for $4,299. You can up the rentals from 1 to 3 for $11,000, a week for $22,000, 30 days for $80,000. And actually, that's actually a pretty respectable number to work with. So we're only going to rent it for 1 day. Technically. You see, I already technically have a Grey Cat ROC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4,300 from my current profit margin to reflect the fact that I have rented the ROC for a day. So let's see. 4,300. 4,300. Math is hard. Alright, the profit has been updated. It should be showing up shortly on the upper the upper right hand corner. And I will have effectively rented this ROC. Which basically means I'm making use of the ROC I already own, but Aurora MR Challenge, this is the way. Now, in order for the ROC to really be effective though, you need more than the ROC. I mean, I could just spawn it at one of the outposts on one of the moons and do my mining around there. The problem is, anybody else might decide to do that too. And there's always a tiny little problem of piracy that some people just like to fly down and blow things on the ground up to bits just because they can. So it behooves you to be able to range a little further out than the standard outpost, which is why we're going to do a second rental. And as you may have guessed from my earlier comments, and in a sense of pure irony, we are going to rent the Drake Cutlass Black. Rental cost for 1 day, $34,000. 3 days. Now I know that can't be right. I have a dreadful feeling that a 30K is coming. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Let's try this again, shall we? It starts at 34,000. Okay, well, you know what? There's probably a glitch going on here, and while it's tempting to grab the 30-day rental for 34,000, I strongly suspect that's not what'll happen. So we're going to stick with the rent button now. Of course, we're just going to confirm rentals, and why don't we take a peek? 30 days, rent the ship. Now you see, here's the true price. For 30 days, it's close to 650 UEC. We're not doing that. For 7 days, 181, well, closer to 182,000 AUEC. For 3 days, 90,000, closer to 91,000. But, like I said, we are doing a single day rental for 34,000. And it will be available at the ASOP terminals when I get there. In theory. Otherwise, I'm going to be really annoyed. The Cutlass Black has a cargo bay that is large enough to store the Grey Cat Rock. So that gives you the ability to range pretty much anywhere. Which is exactly the point. So our first step is to go to the hangars and habs, and we're going to pull out the Cutlass, and we're going to head to a moon. Preferably a moon with one of the Platinum Bay spawn areas. That'll be where I spawn the rock. We'll load it onto the Cutlass, and then we will look for stuff to mine. Now, a minor note. Until recently, the rock was probably the best method of earning large amounts of cash in a short period of time. But changes to the bounty hunting missions may put this in doubt. You can wind up making a pretty significant amount of money, especially if you manage to get some of those really high risk missions. You could make yourself some good credits. How it compares with the rock per hour, I'm not sure, and I seriously thought about doing the whole bounty hunting thing to earn money faster, but it gets boring, I think, if you just see me dogfighting week in and week out. Man does not live on shooting down enemy starships alone. This game is so much more. So, in light of that, we're going to continue with the original plan of rocking the rock. So we're going to scroll down and you will see that I have the Great Cutlass Black here. It is a 24-hour rental period, of which almost 3 minutes has been used already. It is in real time, not in-game play time, so at this time tomorrow, regardless of whether or not I've been playing, it will be gone. Sadly, they do not allow you to rent by the hour. Bad for. Otherwise, believe me, I would. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. Hopefully hopefully the elevator will arrive in the somewhat nearest future. Pad 4, which is not to be confused with Hangar 4. I have done that. You feel pretty stupid when you go out into Hangar 4 and you go out there and you don't see a ship out there and you think, what is going? Oh, right! I've done that more times than I care to admit to. Suffice it to say, however, it has happened to me enough times that I could be embarrassed to admit to how many times it's happened. Now, the Cutlass Black, as I have mentioned, is the target ship that we're aiming to purchase. So this is kind of a preview of what we're aiming for. And to be completely honest, I'm not actually going to buy the Cutlass Black. I have a freelancer which does everything that the Cutlass Black does, and I like it better. No, what I'll be doing is I'll be buying the Cutlass Red, which is more expensive, but it has utility that I can make use of. But we're looking to get the money for the Cutlass Black, because that is the challenge. So if you're just coming in and wondering why I'm going into a Great Cutlass Black on a screen that says Aurora MR Challenge, I am able to do this because of my work during the challenge. This is part of the challenge because the Aurora got me the money to rent this ship. Now, there are individuals in my org who swear by the Cutlass Blacks and the other Cutlass starships. And they point to the fact that it's got the variants of the red, the blue, which do all sorts of stuff that the freelancers can't. But I would counter that the freelancers can do stuff that the Cutlasses can't either.
Launch complete.
The freelancers, for example, has a variant that has heaps of fuel, which admittedly doesn't really mean a whole lot in the current gameplay, but when exploration comes in, that is going to be a very big deal. Okay, looks like we'll be going to Hurston first.
Thank you. Please visit again.
There's a variant that carries heaps of missiles. More missiles than pretty much most ships of that size. Got a variant that's finally out there for raw cargo hauling, which sports a cargo bay way bigger than any Cutlass. That has to do with the manufacturers and their design philosophies. Drake is aimed for a militia sort of audience, and Misk, they tend to go more for the industrialists. So, they're medium-sized ships. While they compare nicely, they have a different focus. And in case you're wondering, yes, the freelancer can, in fact, there we go. Freelancer can fit a ROC, but that is not the choice I've chosen to make. And we have a guest around here, a prospector. Well, that's okay, Mr. Prospector. I mean you no harm. I was doing a scan of you just to see what you were, and to make sure that, you know, you weren't somebody who was getting ready to open fire on me. Now, the next stop is going to be Aberdeen. And the reason for this has to do with the types of materials that the ROC can find. For example, well, actually not an example, this is exactly how we're going to go. There are 3 types of rocks, and by rocks I mean stones, that can be mined here on Aberdeen. And the one that has the stuff of value is Hadanite. So the goal, what we want to do here, is get as much Hadanite as I can. Now, hopefully, I'll still be able to sell it at places like HDMS Anderson or the other various HDMS locations. I haven't done this since 3.12 landed, so I'm not entirely sure what'll happen, but I'm pretty certain that this is not doing the refinery stuff. I don't have to go to the refinery to deal with this. If I'm wrong, you'll find out the same time I do. Now, the reason we're going to Anderson is because Anderson has those marvelous Platinum Bay pads. And that's where we'll be spawning the ROC in. Now, as you can see, visibility at this altitude stinks. I mean, ugh. I'd say it would be like flying through pea soup, except pea soup would probably be more pleasant. The air is the same color as the ground almost. I mean, you can see if you look down the sides here, the ground approaching, and the altimeter, and ooh, yeah, big hills. Yeah, don't crash into those either. Now you'll see symbols on the showing up here, little rock symbols. If I were mining in a prospector or a mole, those would be what I would be going after. But those are not what the Gray Cat or ROC will be going after. More on that momentarily. First, though, I see that we are getting closer and closer and closer to our destination. In fact, I see the landing pads ahead.
Landing gear down.
You know, things have changed. I didn't think that this was on top of a massive ravine, but things have changed. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to land on one of these pads here. Carefully, carefully, carefully. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to do an auto land on it.
Automated
There we go.
landing.
That'll center me. And I want to be centered because it's easier to get the ROC in. Okay. Looks like it had a little trouble adjusting to the forward movement. That's probably because I put my VTOLs down.
Landing complete.
There we go.
Engines.
Turn off the engines, but we'll leave the power on. You'll notice we've got back here a turret. On some Drake ships, this is replaced by a toilet. The fact that there's no toilet in the baseline Cutlass Black tells you everything you need to know about the Cutlass. Got these side doors that open up. Great for if you're doing EVA work. Not so great if you're on a gravity well. And a fair amount of cargo space. And that's important, mainly because we're going to be driving the ROC back up in here. Now, I am going to close everything up first because I am an untrusting human being. And I have no faith that, you know, somewhere along the line someone may fly through and say, ooh, there's an open door here for the Drake Cutlass Black. Let's go hijack it. I don't think so. If you want my Cutlass, you're going to have to work for it. Granted, you may not have to work hard for it, but, you know, things happen. This is the Platinum Bay building. You can easily identify it by the fact that it says Platinum Bay on the side, and also by the signal tower here that is big and blue. Makes it easy to identify, and of course you'll see the two pads over there. You can actually spawn some small ships in them as well, but they have to be really small, like the M50, the Razor, the 100 series of Origin ships. So on, so forth. So now that I'm here, we're going to grab the Gray Cat ROC and retrieve it. And hopefully there will be no problems. PBO1. No need to identify which PV it is, because really there's only two there, and they're both out in the open. It's hard to miss. And there it is, the Gray Cat ROC, which I managed, thanks to the low gravity, to completely jump over the ramp. That's what I get for trying to be clever. Enter the driver's seat. Alright, let's turn on the engine. I'm going to activate and deactivate the mining arm, because sometimes the arm doesn't go fully down where it should. And we are going to drive our way all the way back to the compass. Now, sometimes I drive in third person, sometimes I drive in first person. It depends on my mood. Right now we're doing first person, which may or may not be a mistake. Alright, I will probably go into third person for this next part, because it's easier to measure the cargo bay and the sides of the rock. And I'm trying not to accidentally destroy anything. Okay, back inside. Now, as you can see, well, that's mining arm again. They might have fixed that, but I don't trust it, because I'm an untrusting soul. But as you can see, it fits very comfortably in here, with more than enough room to close the doors and get back out again. We'll kill the power. Exit the rock. Close up the back. Well, get around the big tire, then close up the back. I may not have left myself enough room. Maybe I should have pulled up further. Yeah, let's pull up further. That did not work the way it was supposed to. I wanted to make sure I had enough room to get out, but I did not make sure I had enough room to get to the, well, I suppose I could have gone to the pilot seat and closed the exterior from there. I'm a creature of habit.
Systems activating. Systems on.
And now systems off. I should still have enough room to get out of here. And now I can get around and close the door. So, we have the rock. We have the cutlass. We have what we need. Start making the money. So
Engines online.
we're gonna take off here.
Launch complete.
And we're going to go up a bit. We're going to start working our way
Landing gear up.
elsewhere. I could start looking around here, but as you may have noticed, the sun is setting. I'm pretty sure that's a sunset and not a sunrise we're looking at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of the orbital markers and try to get to, let's say, oh, bright light. Go to a side that is a little bit more well lit. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping to see an orbital marker on that, but I didn't. Ah, there we go. OM3 is a good place to start.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum
Now we'll
drive
take a
is
look
now
at the
on.
moon below us, evaluate where the lit side is brightest, and go there.
Quantum
Now,
drive is now on.
I could just as easily
Quantum drive is now
look for a
on.
mining spot at night. I mean, that's not horribly difficult. Okay, we'll go start going straight down here. We'll open up the throttle. but it's easier to do it during the daylight. Especially if, you know, there's rocky areas or other locations of, shall we say, unsafe proportions. Now the challenging part, though, is I'm going here at over 1 kilometer per second. And I'm not entirely sure when the altimeter kicks off, except it's going to be a lot lower than it is during approaches on planets. So instead of having something comfortable like 99,000 to go, I might only have like 10,000 to go, which means I'll have roughly 10 seconds to pull out before I end up a smear on the landscape there. You might notice that that's a common theme with some of my approaches. The possibility of ending up as a pile of wreckage on the ground. That's probably not as much a coincidence as it sounds. I have impacted the ground at high speed before. Usually, though, it happens when I'm flying something like, ooh, a Misk Razor. You know, one of those ships that are designed for racing. And I kind of failed to properly estimate the braking power of those things. Luckily, I did come to a complete stop. Hitting the planet was definitely a complete stop. 25 seconds to pull out. Yeah, that's not good. I am slowing down, but I'm not slowing down anywhere near fast enough. I'm going to kick on the VTOLs and hope that they give me enough power to keep me from turning into a splat. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, let's drop the delimiter down. That's probably not helping. So now I am approaching the ground at a much smarter rate, meaning one that isn't going to kill me immediately. And we'll drop down a little steeper now that I'm not going at insane velocities to the ground. Down, down, doobie doobie down. 1.6 kilometers. Leveling off, and since I got the VTOLs working, I should have no trouble getting myself back up a bit. Alright, so now that I'm flying a little over 1 kilometer over the surface, according to the altimeter, which may or may not be accurate, what do I do? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my scanners. And what we're going to try to do is locate clusters of what looks like gemstones. Because those will be the rock minables. Ideally... Oh, and there's something right there. Now, if we're lucky, this will be a hadnite. If we're not lucky, it'll be pretty much anything else. Let's kill the cruise control. And let's kick another scan pulse up. Here they are. Oh, it's a nice cluster. I really hope they're a hadnite, because that's a nice cluster. It is hadnite. Excellent. This is a good way to start. So what I'm going to do is we're going to set down the landing gear. We're going to get a little closer. We're going to land on this relatively flat area over here. Theoretically flat.
Landing complete.
Good. Looks like it'll have no trouble with the ramp, but let's double check that. Where's my open exterior button? Somewhere around here. There we are. Open exterior. We'll kill the engines. The ramp does make it all the way to the ground, which is perfect. We're going to leave the ship's shields on, though. When you're out here in the middle of the open, you want those advantages working. Entering the driver's seat. It's time to mine. Kick on power.
Systems activating.
Go straight backwards. And head toward those head to the rocks with my rock. I admire the folks at the Gray Cat for coming up with a name that automatically makes you think of mining, but I despise it for the fact that it's difficult to have a conversation about mining rocks when you're driving a rock. Those horrible people. Now you'll notice I turned off the engines. This helps minimize the possibility of drifting over to the sides, and you know, it suddenly occurs to me that I'm standing here in 232 degrees in armor that will melt me in 10 minutes. So, in spite of the fact that the last time I did something like this, I wound up losing my head in mobiGlass, I'm going to go inside and change my suit to the hot environmental gear. Those of the religious persuasion are encouraged to pray at this time. We'll unequip first. I don't know if that'll make a difference or not, but walk carefully. Okay, step 2. Pembroke armor, which is the hot armor. You will recall that that was part of our infrastructure building for the challenge. Our second day was made up of equipping. Oh, I hope that's not a bad sign. What if I go out here and then back over here? Okay. We're going to grab the Pembroke helmet as well. So that I will be completely enclosed in something nice and comfortable and safe. Alright, now for scary time. Let's see if I still have a head. I still have a head. Awesome. Now that I will be able to last for over almost 3 hours in this outfit, which is more than enough time that I need, because there was no way I was going to be able to do all this mining on Aberdeen in 232 degree temperatures in 10 minutes. Now, once you're in, I'm going to hit the M key on my keyboard, and that'll bring up the new mining interface. For those who've seen earlier streams that I've done outside of the challenge, you will probably seen me do mining before, and it looked a little different. Well, it's different now. That circular bar, all those the arcs, the center, that's our new methodology. You'll see as I increase my intensity, left side goes up. On the right side, you see the charge level rising. Theoretically rising. There we go. Sometime this year. And once it gets into the green is going to start to fill. And when the green is fully filled, from right to left, the rock will burst. On the other hand, if I go into the red and the red fills, well, the rock will burst in a very different manner. A very different, very scary, very explosive manner. Come on, get a little more, a little more. There we go, we're in the green. So now see, it's filling up. Bright green. And if everything goes as it should...
Warning. Power critical.
No, don't do any warnings. I don't want warning. I want things to work.
Scan initiated.
Alright, excellent. We're going to right-click the mouse to go to extraction mode. And we're going to try to gather up all those wonderful little gems. And kind of have to be careful because if you hit them the wrong way, they will go flying and you'll have to hunt them down. But I seem to have done okay with this movement. And you'll see that I now have on the left-hand side, right over here, it tells me how much SCU I've got of my capacity and how much it's actually filled. Okay, I'm back in mining mode, so we're back in we're back in extraction mode. So we're gonna grab the next one. And like I said, this is a nice field of hadnite, so it should be helpful. Now, one thing it doesn't show you, as it did before, it used to calculate this as percentages in your cargo, but now you see exactly how much cargo out of how much cargo. Whether that's better or worse, I will leave for other, more enlightened people to figure. I'm just here to blow up rocks, man. Hoping to get that up a little faster, but not so fast I go into the red quickly. Because once that thing hits green, that starts accelerating at a dramatic speed. And I do not want that going to dramatic speed. I also don't want it to go out of the green, so... Oh, but it went out of the green. Uh-oh, I've gone a little further than I thought. That's not good. And that's what happens when you fluff it. Oh, let's grab what I can. For pity's sake, some of them I should be able to get. There we go. Got enough of an angle here that I get a good chunk of these guys. I don't know if I can help over here. When you start getting further away, it gets a little challenging to grab appropriate gemstones. That's behind me. Oh, there's no way I'm getting down one. Where am I? No, I'm scanning something else. Okay, well, we're not going to chase those down quite yet because, well, that's what trouble is worth. We're instead going to go for another stone, and hopefully this time I'll do a better job in keeping it green. Oh, I'm getting nothing on shard level, am I? Okay, either this is really resistant ROC, or something horrible is about to happen in the server. Let's try a different ROC and see if I have any better luck. Okay, that one at least is budging, so... kind of. A little bit. Here we go. But, oh, that's a big amount of red up ahead. I must be wary. I need to be wary. I could do without all the bouncing that happens when you're hitting my laser stuff. Okay, drop. Rise. And I just lost all my progress. This is why I often say that mining is as much art as science. There is no special percentage that's going to put you perfect and put you at no risk of dropping or overcharging. You have to constantly be watching, constantly planning.
Scan initiated. Scan complete.
Oh, come on. I really hope this is server lag or something, because I should be picking up these rocks like
Scan initiated.
no problems. I should not be having these kind of problems picking up these things. There we go.
Fracturing mode on. Extraction
Time for
mode
the next one.
on. Scan complete.
If it's complete, then why don't I see, because I'm not mining mode. If I only had a brain. Let's do what we can to get this one cracked open. We're moving up. We're not moving up fast, but we're moving up. Be optimal shortly. I'm already lopping it down a little bit. Oh, I want to lop it down a lot more. Again, gotta pay attention to where that green is. Both the horizontal and the vertical. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. Props to anybody who understands those references. Alright.
Extraction mode on.
That worked out nicely.
Scan initiated. Scan complete.
Let's pick up chunks of mineral. Let's try to pick up hunks. There we go.
Fracturing mode on.
Like I said, we had a number of rocks. Let's see if I get this one bugged again. I'm still not giving up on this guy. There we go. Granted, I've had an insane output going on my laser here. A little too insane, maybe. Drop it back down a little bit. And see how that thing just jumps up and down? We really got to be on the ball here.
Scan initiated.
We're doing pretty well, all things considered.
On. Scan initiated. Scan complete.
I mean, aside from that first bird, that one burst that exploded, we're getting a good chunk of the amount of profit from this thing. I wish I could grab that one 27 meters away. I feel like I should be.
Fracturing mode on.
Well, you know, you win some, you lose some. We'll drive up a little bit there and see about grabbing them when we've gotten the last, I think, 2 rocks here taken care of. No, don't turn off. I'm not done with you. Drop down, back up, drop back down. Keep it in the green, but don't go to the red. Please don't go to the red. Don't go to the red, don't go to the red, don't go to the red. There we go. There we go.
Scan initiated. Extraction mode on. Scan initiated.
Mining is not a bad activity to do if you're
Scan complete.
not really interested in doing the blood and guts of bounty hunting, and at the same time don't want to go through the really terrifying
Scan initiated.
tactic of, for example, cargo running.
Fraction mode on.
You want nerves of steel? Cargo running is nerves of steel.
Extraction mode on. Scan complete.
Scan complete, but you're not so. Oh,
Fraction mode
must
on.
be in fracture mode.
Scan complete.
Only mildly embarrassing. And it doesn't look like. Oh, whoa, what the heck just happened there? For a second there, it looked like everything had jumped up, including the right-hand side charge level. There it is again. That's what worries me. That is going to make breaking this rock a little more entertaining than I want to think about if it keeps doing that. Up, 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 up. There we go. Whoa, see, it did it again. That is going to be very terrifying to deal with. And by terrifying, I mean, please don't let that rock explode with a huge spread. There we go. That's the way I want it.
Scan initiated.
More or less.
Extraction mode on. Scan initiated. Scan initiated.
So we'll see how long it takes for the tractor beam to grab those
Scan complete.
helpful chunks of ore.
Scan initiated.
I hope they're going where they're supposed to go, and not into Never Never Land, because
Scan initiated.
okay, at this point,
Scan initiated.
my bad.
Fraction
We do have another rock left.
Scan complete.
I'm gonna move a little closer.
Scan initiated.
As an additional bonus, maybe not that close. An additional bonus,
Extraction mode on.
I should be able to get
Scan initiated.
that gem. And wasn't there a gem over on the left-hand side? There we are. Oh, right.
Fraction mode on.
Turn off the
Scan
engines.
complete.
I may be too close to this guy.
Extraction mode on.
I am too close to this guy. It's not so much that I can't mine further away, I mean closer. It's just that I feel like there are too many negative consequences if I do. If it blows up, that could be a problem. But more to the point, I want to be able to make sure that none of the gemstones go right underneath my rock. Hey, Cap, I am indeed on Aberdeen.
Extraction
Where else could I possibly go to find such large fields of hadron? Cap is a member of the Eternal Writers organization that I'm a part of, and is our resident rock mining expert. Cap knows everything there is to know about mining with a rock, and has certainly made his fortune doing so. Haha, you hope Legend is watching. Okay, I'm gonna need to get a little more power on here because I am not seeing anything happening on my charge level. There we go. Let's make that charge level rise. Apparently I'm gonna have to work a little harder for this one. Now, the good news is I don't think you can burn out your mining laser. I've never seen it happen. Which, admittedly, is not the same thing as saying it's impossible. Oh, no, go down, go back up, back down. Going back and forth with this thing. Flirting with the red line, but not crossing the edge.
Power critical.
Oh, I just crossed the edge. That's a bad sign. Let's hope it goes down a bit before I fill up.
Extraction mode on.
Not great, but not bad.
Scan initiated.
They're all relatively where they're supposed to be, and that's good enough for me. Just joined in. Am I making some good money today? Having issues? No, well, a minor issue. Apparently I need to focus the laser a little longer than I expected on some locations to get the tracker beam to hoover them up. I basically went to the R&R Hurl 1 station to grab the, well, effectively grab the ROC. As I already have a ROC, I couldn't exactly rent another. I could rent another one, but what's the point? And rent the Cutlass Black to transport it around, which I'm sure makes you happy to hear, since I know that you are one of the Drake fanboys of the Aurora. Which, now that I think about it, is pretty much everybody except me. So let's see if I can get some of these guys that I missed earlier.
Scan
Oops.
initiated.
Let's not vaporize it, let's gather it. Let's grab the ones that are convenient. If it's too far out of the way, I'm not going to bother. And is there one more? I could have sworn I saw one more.
Fraction mode.
Nope, I guess that's all of them. So, we have 305 cargo units of Hadnite, which is not quite half the hold, but it's pretty good. Let's put the mining laser back where it belongs, swap into the third-person view to more easily load it into the cargo bay. Preferably without, knocking anything over. Not too far up, not too far back. And power off. Now hopefully we'll get lucky and find another Hadnite field that looks a lot like that one. I don't know why I bother when closing the exterior anyway, but I am a creature of habit. Now the side doors haven't always worked. Sometimes they glitch out and you can't open them at all. But I guess they fixed that. Spent more time than I thought there because the sun looks like it's trying to set. Still should be enough time to locate something else.
Engines online.
Engines online. There's the debris left over from all the inert materials.
Launch complete.
And we will follow the sun. Now, there was a time where the only ship that could pick up anything on the ground was the Prospector, the Mole, and strangely the Carrack. But now, any ship can scan for minables. Which makes life a lot easier if you're, grabbing a rock. Let's try this one. For those who are just joining and wondering why am I flying a Cutlass Black instead of the Aurora like is my title, the Aurora Challenge has effectively gotten me the profit that I needed to make this rental. And the rental allows me to transport the rock. Everything I've done has been built on the back of that Aurora MR. Now you'll notice I'm ignoring some of the guys that are showing up here as blocks, because if they're showing up as that big of a block at that distance away, it is probably not a cluster of Hadanite. Or anything that the rocket can get. What we're looking for is something that's a relatively small box. And we're hoping that this, like that one, for example. Although that one's going to be kind of borderline. No, it's not it. I thought it might be just a little too large. I hate it when I'm right. Now, you might think, seeing all these big rocks showing up on the scanner, you might start to think, hey, ship mining is the way to go. And whoa, 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 stop, 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 stop. That's what I thought. I was flying right over a cluster. That's what you want to see. Oh, there's something else here too. 2 clusters. Well, that's not a promising sign because there's only 1 gemstone there, so it's probably not worth going after. On the other hand, it is Hadanite. Let's take a look at the other one first. The other one might have a cluster. I would prefer clusters as opposed to singular rocks. Make it worth my effort. Unfortunately, it's another singleton. It has Dolivine, which is even worse. Well, you know what? I am not going to spend my time on single rocks if I can avoid it. And I'm pretty sure I can avoid it, so we're going to continue following the sun. And look for, you know, something that has more than a single rock by. Hey, Legend Eternal! The big boss man of the aforementioned org. We are currently engaging in rock mining the rocks. We're rocking the rock mining for rocks. I am going to beat this metaphor to death with a bludgeon. Unfortunately, aside from that one very nice Hadanite field, it has not proven to be highly productive. Oh, stop, 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 stop! Turn this puppy around. The problem with moving at any speed whatsoever is you might kind of accidentally go right past what you're looking for. I know you're down here. Show me lots of rocks. I'm not seeing lots of rocks. Oh. That's because I'm aiming at the wrong spot. Again, a single rock. Come on, guys. You could do better than this. At least give me a trio. A trio is worth going after. Even 2 would probably be worth it. I am doing all this manually. I am not using a head tracker, Legend. I am doing everything all with mouse and keyboard. Because I'm lazy. And cheap. And I see that Cap has indicated that he's already said all the bad things about Legend before he got online here. Of course, what Cap has forgotten is that he can always look at the video after the stream is done and see exactly what you said about it. Just saying. Okay, 2. If they're both Hadanite, that will be worth it. It's Dolivine. Okay, so much for that movie. There we go. My acceleration isn't exactly smooth because I've got the VTOL running right now. Oops, the door's open. When the heck did I open that door? I thought I closed that thing. Okay, let's slow it down a bit. Alright, moving along. He says enough to your face to you have to go back and review the video. Well, that's okay. I can assure you that I've been nothing but kind, even though I'm flying a Drake Cutlass, which, as I have mentioned on many occasions, is basically put together with masking tape. But it does have the advantage of having a wide cargo bay, which is easier to fit a ROC into than a Freelancer. Plus, you know, the rental for the Cutlass was right there. I'm flying because it's awesome. Well, there are certain kinds of awesome to mention here, yes. But I somehow think that the kind of awesome you meet is not the kind of awesome I meet. I'm getting these relatively smaller boxes, but the problem is I'm getting them at a pretty far distance, so these are probably not what I'm looking for. I need gemstones. Now that said, if I'm that close not seeing rock up there, maybe it is a gemstone. Now watch, I'm gonna get within 500 meters and turn into a rock. And this is why you don't ignore things. Gut instinct matters. We have at least some gemstones here, and hopefully, I can keep my scanner on the stupid things. Hadanite. Alright, we have a winner. Let's see about finding a place to land that will allow me to get the rock out. It looks like there's only 2 here, but you know what? I'm willing to do it for 2. Drop down, and it's open again. I wonder if I busted the landing rig at some point. That would explain my difficulties. Hey, more music! Glad you could join the stream. If you are wondering why I am flying a Cutlass Black instead of the Aurora mentioned in my stream title, it's because this Aurora has allowed me to get enough profit to rent this ship so that I can engage in a little bit of rock mining. So that I can rock the rock. With rocks. Before this stream is done, I guarantee that anybody viewing it will want to beat me to death for overusing those puns. We all have our little character flaws. Alright. Everything's down. Let's head out. There's our targets. I'm going to put the headlights on, even though the ROC headlights are nothing really to write home about. Now, why am I not seeing those as diamonds? Well, I'm going to try to get this up a little further, turned around, so I have a little bit of distance there. There we go. That was the goal, so I could see them both at the same time. We'll kill the engines to prevent any little jiggling around. We'll just throw rocks at my rock. Touche. Alright, mining laser up. Mining laser interface there. They are both Hadanite, as expected. Let's see if I can avoid exploding these things the wrong way. I will say this. While I was preferring to do the work at daytime, where I could see the rocks easier, I can see my display a lot easier at nighttime. So, you know, a little good, a little bad. I do seem to be still having these odd glitches with my interface. It doesn't bother me so much while I'm charging, but once I get to optimal level, it gets a little scarier. Like that. You do not want to lose focus on where optimal is when you're in it. I'm going to have a serious talk about the folks at Grey Cat for their interface. This will not give them a good Yelp review. Alright, and ooh, look at all those things run. No, stop, stop, stop. Come to me, not away from me. That's one of the hazards of doing this kind of thing on the hilly area. I learned how to throw water bottles the other day, so legend tells us. Now every time he takes a drink, the nearest person gets beamed by an empty water bottle. I did that recently. Except I was going for people. Oh, you were going for people. Duh. I fail reading comprehension. I would have thrown it in the recycling bin, but the recycling bin wasn't accepting it, so I said, fine. Here, I threw it at the guy who was behind the counter. Moore has been thinking about doing multi-view streams in Star Citizen. Getting pretty cool to have different angles. Well, I've watched a couple multi-streams, and you're not wrong. It would be very interesting to see a major operation with multiple ships at different angles. You'd have to choose one to be primary, I guess, though, or at least as far as audio goes, because that many people talking at the same time on the same screen could probably drive someone mad. Having people stream their screen in Discord and capture Discord and put in the screen, well, you know, that could work better too. I know there is a website out there that you can join two screens together. I think I bookmarked it somewhere along the line, but I've got to look at it again. I have not done the multi-screen personally, but I've seen it done. Now, if I can just get a little more power in here. Oh, we're green. Oh, whoa, we're green. We're green. Get back down. Get back down. Get back down. Art as well as science. Especially when the laser is making it hard to see the green line.
Scan initiated. Extraction mode on.
Well, what I'm thinking is we could probably do Discord, probably, but when I'm thinking multi-stream, I'm usually thinking Twitch stream. I don't know how well it would work with the Discord thing. I will leave it to wiser heads than mine. Okay, that one doesn't want to go immediately. Let's grab the bulk before I go after the outliers. Okay, now that last guy. Get over here. Alright, it wants to play hard to get. I don't care if you don't want to go down. You're coming here. There we go. We are now carrying 386 cargo units. One could ask for better, but it could be a lot worse. Let's see, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going to go to the other side. Here we go. Actually, let's go to third person view. It's easier to steer it in. Well, at least I know I don't have to waste my time trying to pull the ramp up now. somewhere along the line I broke the ramp and, well, summoned that.
Target friendly.
How many full rock loads have I got? This is my first run on this thing. You can only do so many capital letters there, more. There are concerns about crazy people, you know. There's also a problem with links too, so one of these days I'll get around to getting this kind of thing fixed up here. Incidentally, I believe that these days Moore is got his own stream going these days. Let's see if I can get this to work properly. That's not what I want to do. Trying to do these things can be a little challenging sometimes. Let's see if this works the way it's supposed to. There we go. How about that? It's nice when I have macro commands working like they should. It's just a pain to do on top of an iPad.
Engines online.
Okay, it is very dark and scary here, so we're going to go back into orbit and try to nail down a more daylight hour area again. Now the hilarious thing is I can do these vertical rises and still have my rock not falling out of the ship. There's more games 96. Is that not showing up properly? No, more games 96. Okay. I'm aiming at the wrong one. Oh, I will try to remember that for future reference. In fact, let's see. There we go. Now we've covered all the bases. Okay, I've gone high enough up that I should be able to find an orbital marker with little trouble. Oh, no, that's an HDMS location. I'm looking for orbital markers. Magna or Everest Harbor. Wonderful places, but not where I want to go. Oh, is that? There we are. Orbital marker 5. You're welcome, Moore. And if certain individuals would stream more often, well, you know what? I'll do it anyway, just because I can. If I can get the place spelling right. Bang. There we go. And that pretty much covers everybody, I think. So let's follow the sun for a brighter location. Yes, you do. Yes, you do need to stream more often. You know, earn those big affiliate bucks that you've got. Okay, let's aim towards generally this direction. Let's crank up the throttle and see if I can avoid turning into a bloody smear on the landscape again. Sad thing is, as I mentioned earlier today, there is no altimeter until you're around, a little less than 20 kilometers above the surface. And when you're moving at a kilometer per second, that is an awfully short period of time to pull out. So, this will be another adventure. The good news, though, is that since there is not much in the way of atmosphere here, I get to the surface pretty quickly. if I were doing this at, say, Hurston, it takes a while. Especially if you're flying an ungainly, misshapen starship like a Cutlass. You need something more streamlined, like a Freelancer. That said, I will say that the Cutlass has better brakes. I feel like I'm getting pretty close. There's the altimeter. 25 seconds to death. Let's see if I can pull up to avoid that horrible fate. Let's get the VTOLs doing some work. Oh yeah, it would also help if I, cut down my speed. I do not help my case by continuing to be going at an insanely rapid speed. But I think I've almost gotten myself to a comfortable... Yes, there we go. Yeah, Legend likes Freelancers. He can get almost every pellet from his scatter guns onto it. Oops, wrong button. Don't want to be shooting the ground. I might accidentally blow up one of the rocks that I want to rock with my rock. Okay, let's cut the speed down a little bit more here and level ourselves out a little bit more. Until we're going mostly horizontal. And at that point, it's time to start scanning. Oh, and what's this? Is there something right here? There is. So, the question becomes, is it Hadnite? Is it a lot of Hadnite? I'm not exactly optimistic. Whatever it is a standalone gem. No, not shooting things. Must remember to start scanning after scanning mode is activated. Oh, that one kind of looks promising. We'll take a look and see if that's a cluster. The plan worked out pretty well last time, so maybe it'll be the same this time. You've got more presents in your pants. For those who are unfamiliar with some of the things going on right now in Star Citizen, that would sound very disturbing. But right now there is a Luminaria event going on, which is basically winter holidays in Star Citizen. An alien Banu holiday, technically. And one of the events that are involved is collecting gifts from various locations and selling them for profit. Which doesn't sound like it would be in the Luminaria spirit, but hey. Had a night, excellent, excellent. This is what I want. This is the way. So let's go a little past it. Level off a bit. Check my third person view. Crop the landing gear because it would be kind of embarrassing to start bouncing. And perfect. The ramp is perfect. Engines off. And let's see if we can get a bit more into the rock. I think after this load, we're going to try to sell it because the ever-present specter of server crashes is always looking over your shoulder.
Systems activating. Systems on.
Oh, I landed up pretty nicely. Although I'm not quite happy with that angle approach. Let's... There we go, a little bit better. Adjust slightly. A little closer. That's about as close as I want to be. Kill the engines. And activate the mining arm. Since the 3.12 mini patch, Legends only had 130k. Ah, man, do you have to jinx things?
Scan initiated.
Never taunt fate like that. It listens.
Extraction mode on.
Okay, good. I'm in the proper mode. I just need to scan
Extraction
things.
mode on.
Alright,
Scan complete.
3 more rocks. Can I break 500 cargo units with this? Stay tuned. Now, I feel compelled to mention that I was castigating Grey Cat for the mining interface, but the truth is that all the mining vehicles now have this interface. The Prospector has it, and the Mole has it. I don't think the hand mining has changed, but I can't prove that yet because I have yet to be in prison since 3.12 landed. But hanging around with the Eternal Riders, I'm sure it will happen sooner rather than later. Of course, for it to be worth the effort, the prison would actually have to accept the rock sign line, which is a rare thing. Okay, this one's about to break.
Extraction mode on.
Very good, very good.
Scan complete.
Let's bring all these stones into the rock. Legend's been trying to be a good boy so he doesn't lose the Idris mission. Yeah, Legend and I have been kind of doing a few mission works for Mr. Eckhart, and it has brought us up the mission to... God, some of those things got just thrown all over the place. That's what they pain to recollect. And the last mission on that chain involves going after an Idris, so there will be great entertainment to be gained from that soon. Let's turn on the engine again because I do not want to lose those. Get in here. Get in my cargo bay where you belong. There we go.
Extraction mode on.
Oh wait, those were.
Fraction mode on.
I may have accidentally blown them up. Okay, get a little closer. Kill the engines again. Number 2. It's hard. What, the Idris mission, or avoiding doing something that will make you lose the Idris mission? I can see that comment being read one of 2 ways. Being a good boy is hard. There you go. That does not shock me whatsoever. Well, there's always the other direction. I mean, maybe being really, really bad will have an Idris mission attached to it. I don't know that it does or not. It's just a theory. Oh, no, 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 no! Take away, take away. Okay, we're going to work on this rock now. I want that rock to settle down before I try to break that one open again. That Twitch keeps calling Legend. Yeah. I keep meaning to do something about that too. That'll lead you to the mission, the Caterpillar prison mission, which is something I'd like to do at some point, but I'm not quite at that point yet. I'm in no hurry to, wind up in prison yet again. It wouldn't be so bad if the bloody rock mining would work, or the kiosk missions for oxygen would work more regularly, or I had any skill at escape. But since all 3 of those options suck, plus half the time I can't get the keypad and the fan working. Since all those options tend to not be around, prison is definitely not high on my priority list.
Scan initiated.
Cap and Legend has done the escape mission a few times, and automatic CS4.
Scan complete.
I have no trouble believing that. That kind of breakout, yeah. Criminal status guaranteed. Oh, for pity's sake, grab one of these rocks. I swear there's some kind of server lag or something going on here. There we go. Alright. Now let's try to get this last one without nuking it again. You get to shoot people in a cryo chamber though. Yeah, that probably wouldn't look good on one's criminal record either. Perhaps in a future stream, I will do the great breakout. You know, I am bothered by the fact that I'm at 100% and the charge level hasn't budged. There we go. Of course, it'll be a time that is not the Aurora MR challenge. Okay, stay green, stay green. No whammy, no whammy. Points to everybody who understands that reference.
Extraction mode.
Excellent. I'm waiting for everything to calm down.
Scan initiated.
Allowed me to not have those gems spread out all over creation. So now we'll kick back, relax, and wait for those gems to be hit by the extraction beam
Scan complete.
sometime in the next century. And maybe I will get above 500 cargo units after all. Now, there used to be a display talking about the strength of the beam with the old interface. I don't think I've seen that in this new interface. It'd be cool if you could load up the guys who release into your ship and take them somewhere else. Well, I imagine that will happen somewhere along the line. Someday. In some future.
Fraction mode on.
Alright, well,
Scan initiated.
it doesn't look like it's updated my cargo on here because it still says 468. I'm pretty sure it said 468 before I hoovered them in. There we go, 507 cargo units. This feels like an... Oh, let's turn on engine first. Haha. ROC vehicle, don't move if engine not working. Let's load her up.
Target friendly.
Of course it's a friendly target. It's mine. Well, I'm renting it, so it's not technically mine, but it's close enough. So, we have spent some time renting the Cutlass, searching the moon for materials to mined 500 units of Hadnite. It's time to see what that got us.
Engines.
So our first step is determining if I get the Moby Glass to stay put. HDMS Anderson is always a great spot to go. So we'll go there.
Launch complete.
If I'm really lucky, the landing pad will let me repair the ramp. Sometimes that works out and sometimes not so much.
Landing.
And I think we can kill the VTOL at this point. Increase the speed. Start spooling up the quantum drive and hope that I'm high enough to actually get to destination. I am not high enough. Oh, I am now. cut the engines a bit so I could target without accidentally being too close to the ground to do this. There we go. Yes, Cap definitely recommends not going too long between cashing in, exactly because of the potential server crashes. And that is exactly why I'm doing it now. Because server crashes suck. You crash, you lose all your cargo, and while it doesn't cost me any money, well, let me rephrase that. Ordinarily it wouldn't cost me any money, but since I paid to rent the Cutlass and virtually rent the ROC, I would be losing money, effectively. And the goal here is to make money. Always, always, always make money. Now I always make sure to set destination again when I do this so I can see the hexagon indicating the outpost, so that I have a general idea of where I'm going as opposed to trying to guess if I'm aiming straight. Some people will also activate their quantum drives again so they can actually see the distance too. I generally don't worry too much about that because I generally have a good idea of how far I drop from there. As long as I know where I'm going, distance does not bother me over much. However, I am descending a little faster, so let's get the VTOLs active. Kill the cruise control, so that I have a wee bit more control over my landing. Here, I straighten myself up a bit. We can do it, we can do it. Oh, would help if I had my landing gear down, wouldn't it?
Landing gear down. Landing complete.
Well, that worked out rather well. Alright. Kill the headlights, kill the engines.
Engines offline.
Leave power on because that's just the way I go. Can you rent an arrow? I think you can. I think you can. I believe you can do that at... I'm pretty sure you could do that at Area 18, but I think you could do it at Loreville as well. I'm just not 100% sure. But we will certainly engage in heavy bounty hunting next time to see how that compares with what we've just done today. Since I do these things in 2-hour chunks, of course, now we have the real danger. Will the trading console actually work for me today? Because I've had too many times where I've come to these places and they don't do squat. Well, this is not good. I might have to sell this somewhere other than here, because it doesn't look like it's going to let me sell my hat back here. Once upon a time you could, but it needs a server tick. Are we sure of that? Has anybody actually done this since 3.12 landed? Looking at you, Cap, the ROC expert. Because I'm actually seeing all the things I would expect to see here under normal circumstances. Okay, maybe not, because I don't see anything to sell here either, to buy here either, so okay, maybe there's a server ticket involved here anyway. Unless they changed it to 3.12. Well, unfortunately, I can't equip my gun and start shooting the stupid thing. So while we're waiting on that to happen, I'm going to head back out to the Cutlass, see if I can repair the ramp so it'll close, so I don't have to worry about somebody hijacking the thing while I'm in here trying to get the stupid thing working. Legend has not rocked the rock in 3.12. But the real question is, has Cap truly a mystery? Okay, Magic Moby Glass. Give me a repair option. Screw you, landing pad! Okay, looks like I'm going to have to more or less watch it like a hawk. Yeah. Oh, whoa. What the hell just happened there? For a minute there, it was like I got stuck. Well, so much for that. I don't have to pay attention to anybody. Legend has never had any luck with outpost repair or fuel services. I have sometimes had luck, and sometimes I haven't. And I wish I could say it was consistent, except it's not. And if this doesn't cooperate soon, I'm going to say hell with this and I'm going to go to Lordville. Alright, fine. Lordville it is. They pay the same amount of money, and the advantage of going there is I won't have to worry about someone hijacking the Cutlass while I'm gone. Grrr. WWZ is a recent follower. Yes, I noticed that pop in a couple days ago. I have not sold yet, Cap. The terminal here does not want to accept my Hadnite, which I find really, really rude. So we are going to go to Loreville to sell this. It'll be the same price, and I don't have to worry about some random pilot flying by and hijacking my Cutlass with the rock still in it.
Engines online. Launch complete.
If you do not want to buy my goods, I know who will.
Landing gear up.
Let's get some altitude. It was showing the Hadnite, but it was not showing it being available to sell. So I got it on the left-hand side, but not on the right-hand side. It was as if I had an empty hold. And the map being cranky. Sometimes I gotta go off of the map and go back in the map before I can get something on here. No, not Edmonton. Loreville. Loreville. There we go. Yeah, I could wait a tick for that, but you know, I'm an extremely untrusting human being, and when I have a ramp that is busted on my Cutlass, that it won't close, well, you don't necessarily want to stick around long enough for however long it takes a certain tick to happen. Better by far just to go to Loreville and sell it. Where I can put this into a hangar so that people can't swipe it. In theory. Plus, as a special bonus, I might even be able to repair the ramp. Not that it will matter much to me beyond today, but still. There's a principle involved. And 30Ks can't swipe it. Oh, you are right there. One of the advantages of landing on a landing zone is that if a server crash hits after I've landed, it don't matter because it is still safe. So naturally, what's likely to happen is that a 30K will happen just as I'm getting ready to land.
Quantum drive is now off.
I really should stop taunting Fate like that. Oh yeah, puts me all the way back behind the Hurston Dynamics building. They want to make me work for this. Let's see if I can cover a little more speed. Yeah, get myself a little more speed on here. However, I am still descending. Choices, horizontal or vertical movement. Now see, I wouldn't have this problem flying at freelance speed. Safe once I get back to Anderson. Well, you know, at this point I'm less concerned about Anderson and more concerned about selling my stuff. Okay, let's get the VTOLs working. I need that vertical movement to work in my favor. And while I'm thinking about it, let me swap over to comms. And that will make life a whole lot easier. Yeah, I'm not sure you're safe from a 30K when you're landing in an outpost. I mean, technically, it's safe, but on the other hand, you can't get to it because the game doesn't remember that your ship is landed there, and therefore, by the time you get there, it's empty. So you have to claim it, and it's all gone anyway. Really? So if the ship isn't actually physically on one of those pads there, you can still sell there? Well, that's a nice thing to know. That is a very nice thing to know. I'm going to have to remember that detail. That is valuable information. I'll have to remember that during my next time I start doing heavy trading. Okay, landing bay is assigned. All I have to do is get there, land there, hope that the wind isn't so breezy that it tries to knock me left and right. And all will be well, and all sorts of things will be well, as they say. Kill the cruise control. Get a little more evenly okay, a little lower. I want to be able to see where I'm going. There isn't anything. And more impressively, the door hasn't closed yet. Of course, now that I've said that, it's probably going to start closing in a second now. Close in, close in, close in. Little height, little height, little height. Stop! And level out. Different level. And I think we're going to have that would help out load my landing gear, wouldn't it? Why do I always forget that?
Landing gear down.
100% way to drug labs. Well, you know, probably not the drug labs. I think you need to have an actual landing pad.
Automated landing.
But I could be wrong.
Landing.
Lord knows I've been wrong on any number of occasions.
Landing complete.
With alarming frequency. Repair. Yes. Fix that back door. Yes. Okay, let's turn everything off.
Engines offline.
Hop on out of here. Door's still not closing. Look, you people in Lorville. I spent the money on repairs just so you could close this door. You had one job. Grumble, grumble, snarl, curse. Can't trust anybody these days. They probably put the original Lorville hangar control people doing repair work with their customary efficiency. They didn't have duct tape. Did they not have masking tape at least? You guys need a multi-tool? I'll lend you my multi-tool. Oh well, the good news though is that if I was able to do a repair work, that means I should also be able to store it. And there, no more worries about would-be thieving. Not that it would be likely, but you know, weird things happen. The problem is that Anderson is your selling location, so you have to think of it like you would a landing at Grimhex or something. I am going the wrong way because I'm reading chat while I'm running through. And you know, I've turned myself around, I think. No, I didn't. Good. I haven't lost my grip that much yet. Central Business District, one of my favorite places in Lorville. Because they always buy my stuff. Oh, hurry, 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 hurry. Plenty of time. It's also a convenient place to buy Kirsten Dynamics weapons like attrition and was it Dominance weapons? Dominance scatterguns, which I need to remember to do at some point because I was experimenting with them with one of Legend's ships yesterday, and they worked out pretty effectively enough for me to try them out on some of my other ships to see how well they would work out. But of course, to try them out, I must first have them. Yes, Dominance scatterguns. I always get them confused because they have the Dominator missile, so it's like Dominator missiles and Dominance scatterguns. Yeah, Legend's even commenting on that. Well, the problem with renting the Arrow is, technically speaking, you have to do some pretty exotic stuff to get weapons onto a rented ship. And I'm not going to go through that kind of rules. The default weaponry on the rented Arrow will be just fine.
Now arriving Central Station. Please watch your step when disembarking.
However, they will be useful for more long-term use. No worries. With all the stuff that happens on in this game, remembering every little detail about every little thing that goes on in it is a good way to go completely insane. Or more insane, you know, you're already insane. I rule out nothing. Up the stairs, up the stairs, up the stairs. Transfers. Why do they call it transfers? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, technically you're transferring items for money, but it's not intuitive. I see transfers and I think train stations. Alright. Now maybe you guys will be willing to buy my... I don't believe this. I do not believe this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, this is... to say inconvenient probably doesn't even begin to cut it. you expect so much from the major trading port on Lorville, and they pull this. I am very disappointed. Now, I'm pretty sure. Well, the only other thing I can think of, maybe run to the admin office. It couldn't hurt. Because there's only one other thing I can think of. And the only other thing I can think of is that you have to go to the refinery decks and sell it as raw ore. That's the only other theory I've got. Now see, this is the kind of thing that happens when you don't do your research before you do a stream. Well, it doesn't cost me anything to try. So we will take the train over here, which is conveniently already here, and we'll go to Metro Center directly. I so rarely use this particular train, and for a long time I didn't even know it was there, that it even worked. But I was so happy when it did, because I used to have to always went on the train back to the spaceport, then ran to the other train to get to Metro Center, which is a pain in the butt. This saves at least a little bit of time. And you would hope that it would, since, you know, train. It's worth trying to see if I can get this sold off at the admin office, but if I can't, then the next step is going to be one of the refinery decks at the HER L1 or HER L2 stations.
Now arriving, Leeson Station, North Quarter. Please watch your step when disembarking the train.
And if those don't work, then I'm going to find a number of throwable items and start throwing them.
Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
Open sesame. Oh, right. Run, run, run. Do run, 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 do run. Oh, nope, don't do singing stuff. Don't want the DMCA people to hit me. If they moved Hat Night out of the trade terminals and into refining terminals and left it out of the patch notes. That's true, and we know that CIG has never forgotten to put something in patch notes.
Leeson Station transfers to the Central Line.
There we go, I put it the right way. I was pretty sure, but I so rarely go to the admin office in this direction. Okay, they've gotten rid of the old refinery terminals, which makes sense since, you know, refinery decks. Grrr. You see, this is why Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side. Because he got hosed by trading terminals. It's true, watch the movie. Grrr. Well, there is one more thing I could try, which wasn't exactly high on my priority list, but... And that is... exit the menu and go to a different server. Asking global before going to a refinery. Well, you know, I'm not bothered by the extra trip. And doing so gains me knowledge. And knowledge is always a useful thing to have. And let's, oops, I meant to change the server location from best to, you know, something else like Australia or Europe. Oops. That's okay. Oh, I'm sure I'll end up on a different server anyway. The odds of me ending up in the same server are infinitesimally tiny. And the good news is I should load in at Metro Center, which means I can go right back to an admin terminal. Make these things work for me. And who knows? Maybe the Cutlass ramp will be fixed by the time I load in. New server. Fully repaired. It should work. I just want to say that the freelancer ramps are a lot more durable. Just saying. I can run my ROC on it again and again and again. That ramp will always open and always close. Typical Drake manufacturer. Alright, here we are back in the Habs of Florida. And, oh, how about that? It actually let my helmet stay on this time. And I'm going to help my hydration level by making coffee. User error. Sure, you can tell yourself that. Hot lava. And since they put in the whole hydration system, the coffee will actually work to hydrate you. You can drink your coffee. Good Java. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can put it back down again, so, oh, maybe I can. Trying not to throw it anywhere. It's giving me a hard time trying to put it back where it belongs. Come on, man, work with me here. So apparently the coffee is a one-shot deal. Up. No, not that way. Up. Nope. Up. I tried. That's as much effort as I'm willing to put into putting the coffee back, so apparently you only get 1 cup of coffee. My nutrition level needs help too. Well, it can wait. Nutrition tends to go a lot slower. Which makes sense, because you'll die of thirst before you die of starvation. I will sell this cargo if it's the last thing I do. Another possibility is just taking off the ROC and, no, I can't really put it on another ship conveniently because then I'd have to despawn Drake and that would cause problems too. Decisions. I can hit, yes, this way. I almost never go to the admin office directly from the hab either. Alright. Now perhaps this server will be more of a cooperative. It is not. You are disappointing me. Alright, so let's continue our mad science here, shall we? We shall expand our knowledge. The other possibility, of course, is that the whole thing is bugged. That would be a really sucky note to end on. Twice in a row. Last week I got bugged with my Moby Glass and helmet. It would suck to have today end with a bug with the cargo bay. So it's time to fly the Cutlass a little more. Hopefully the ramp is repaired. They hopefully found enough cardboard to attach to it. It's always a kind of lengthy trip from the Kirsten Dynamics building to the spaceport.
Now arriving, Metro Center. Please
But apparently not as long as I was worried about
boarding
today.
the train.
It's a lot worse if you go on perimeter line. Going between the gates takes forever.
Kirsten Security reserves the right to
Oh,
search
right.
travelers at any time.
Take a quick jog through customs. And one day, going through customs will actually mean something. And hello, vehicle retrieval terminal. I'd like to borrow the Cutlass again. Please pull it out for me. Anytime it wants to come out. There we go, Hangar 9. Oh, what's this? Crew L1 in Daymar Mines not accepting it. It's bugged right now on all servers. All the servers are currently bugged with dealing with Hadnite. Well, that would have been useful to know before the stream, right? Well, we're still going to go to the refinery decks and see what we can see, just for kicks. As you might imagine, today will not be showing a profit. That profits made so far number is going to drop like a stone. And they just said that Crew L1 is not accepting it. Crew L1 is they would be doing it off of a refinery. Let me try this again. They would be using a refining deck. There we go. So that makes this little voyage kind of academic. Also, what's academic is I'm not heading towards my destination. Why am I not going to my... Okay, there we go. I must not have hit the button. The words are hard. Me no speak good. Well, the good news is it looks like the back is finally closed up. Okay, I gotta think about this now, bro. Okay, I don't have to think about it, actually. What I need to do is take this Cutlass to pretty much anywhere there's a Platinum Bay And then I need to store the rock. I can't leave the rock in here, because when the rental period is done, the Drake Cutlass will go bye-bye, and it will take the rock with it, which will take my profit with it. And that is not acceptable. What I need to do is make sure that my profits are secure, no matter where I am. And the best way to do that, I think, is to store the rock at Platinum Bay. Now, an even better method,
You are clear to launch.
and I might do that when I'm offline, is I might store the rock at, say, HTMS Edmund. And then sometime when I'm offline, I'll grab one of my other ships that isn't a rental, one of the ones I don't use very often perhaps, pull the cargo out of the rock and put it in the cargo bay of the ship, and then I'll be able to continue doing as I do for the challenge here.
Launch complete.
And I think that should take care of some of my minor potential issues. And by minor potential, I mean my freaking huge issues.
Landing gear up.
Thank you.
But everything begins with getting the rock stored at Platinum Bay. And yeah, Levski is almost easier, but on the other hand, Edmund is practically right here. So I am slightly more inclined to just go literally next door. If I can get this thing to actually, tag anything. Are you going to be difficult? Here we are. No, that's not where I want. Edmund. There we go. See that tiny line there? I mean, I'm probably going more vertical than anything else. I can spawn the cargo ship I'm going to transfer to at Levski. That's kind of true. But right now I'm going for just get this out of the way. Of course, the first thing I need is to point myself in the right direction. Which I'm failing to do miserably. I hate 2D radar. There we go. Either way, alright. But hey, at least my the Cutlass ramp is working now. Yay!
Quantum drive is now off.
Oh, and it's a special bonus? If they manage to figure out... Oh, they probably won't have a patch to fix that. So the rock will probably be sitting there for a while, but that's okay because next time is probably going to be new bounty hunting craziness. Because some of these numbers do get crazy. Just as an example, we'll hop over to contracts briefly. Right now, I can get, thanks to some work I've been doing offline, I can do these group warrants, and they will probably improve by the time we get to it next week. And we're getting close to 40,000 each one. That is a nice place to be. So a few of those is easily worth the same amount that I would probably be getting with a full load of Hadanite on the rock. And by storing the rock, I ensure that I at least have a chance to add that profit in whenever they fix the stupid terminals. Oh, what's this? Crew L1 just accepted my raw ore and paid me. Well, it didn't say what he was using. Was he doing the Hadnite? No, he was talking Vexilite. Never mind. It is not Vexilite I need. Legend is getting 70k from very high-risk threat targets. See, that is some serious money to make, and it is doable in the RSI Aurora, and I will be proving that. Just, no, not this week. This week we're going to store up the ROC so that we don't have to worry about the cargo. And I'm going to make sure I have a note to myself that yes, I do have cargo in the ROC. And I should be fine unless I have to do a character reset, at which point I'm screwed. I'm going to hope that I don't have a character reset. Okay, we are approaching our destination. Looking for one of the smaller landing pads. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't really care about the smaller landing pads. What I want is the area closest to Platinum Bay. Of course, I may have just outsmarted myself, because you know what? Ah, there we are. For one horrible moment, I thought I had managed to choose the one location that didn't have a Platinum Bay. So at least we didn't embarrass ourselves that way.
Landing complete. Engines offline.
Alright. Time for opening up the door. Enter the driver's seat with my valuable cargo on board. Oh, it's a group very high risk threat. Well, you know, that's still a pretty good amount of cash, even for groups.
Systems activating. Systems on.
Okay, I have clearly made a mistake here. The door is open. Maybe it's the mining laser catching or something. It would not be the first time that's happened.
Mining mode on. Mining mode off.
There we go. Okay. To Platinum Bay. Let's get around to the ramp. Open up the communications so that it will assign me a berth.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Why, thank you. I think I will.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Just like landing a ship. It's closed up there, so we can proceed to the Platinum Bay terminals and store the ROC. And then we will take stock of where things stand. Which is going to be a little uglier than usual. Bugs happen. Store. And the cargo is safe as long as I don't do something incredibly stupid, like, I don't know, claim the ship somewhere. Note to self, this is at Edmund. If I forget that, I'm probably going to pay the hard way. I still may. Try to still here after storage. Well, you know what? We lose nothing by trying. So let's run to the storage facility. I'm pretty sure this is a storage facility. Yes, it is. Someone's rocket just glitched into the planet. Yeah, that happens too. I'm glad it didn't happen to me. No joy for us. Okay, let's take a look at where our finances are sitting right now. Our finances are sitting at 2,844,418. And our starting funds was, let's just say, a little north of that, shall we? So let's play with math, shall we? 8, 9, 4, 8, minus 2, 8. So we have effectively lost 34,000 today. So that's a minus sign. Where's my integers? Plus my profit of 45,172. The profit is going to change a little bit. Just a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. From 45,172 to 10,492. And yes, I do have roughly 120k sitting in that rock, and I will apply it when the time comes that I can actually sell the stuff in it. But for today, we are going to call today a little bit of a financial loss. And you know what? It happens. You take a huge cargo in your ship, and you have a 30k, you're out heaps of money. These things happen, and this would not be a fair challenge if it did not include the little trials and tribulations that came with it. And today is one of those trials and tribulations. These things happen. But next week, we are going to be recovering some of those losses by hitting some of these heavier duty bounties and start getting the positive momentum going, shall we say. And with that, it is well past my usual 3 o'clock hour for the ending of the stream, but we had to find a decent place, a comfortable place to stop, and this kind of qualifies. I thank you all for joining me, whether you are watching this live or on the video later. I will return to continue the Aurora MR Challenge next week, same time, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Hey, Water, you're just in time to say goodbye. I will be streaming from 1 to 3 Eastern. We will do the bounty hunting. We'll see if we can get some of that money back. I also stream on Wednesday nights. I stream Star Trek Online for those occasions. That will happen from 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, approximately. Thank you for watching. I hope you've been at least somewhat entertained and amused. And this is Korath Landwalker, signing off.